Are we going to confirm the date and time, etc.? And then what would happen is you would then push a call back out, right, through your system that goes through our link together, but back to them through that portal call that says, hey, we're confirming you for Thursday at 1 p.m., just to give you kind of another example.
All right, I got it.
And just so you know, we can do that, as Peter said earlier, we can talk through the integration stuff, but I'm sure you guys are doing HL7 transactions today. Would that be fair?
Yes and no, but we know HL7.
Okay. And if you wanted to do it some other way, we obviously can do that, but I just figured in most of our integration work with other folks out there, it seems that HL7 is usually the first baby step. Not that I'm downgrading your integration. I'm just usually that's sort of a common language that everybody speaks on.
It is. It's not a difficult.
No, it's not.
Well, that's for sure.
Yes, we can do that. Right.
And this is Peter. I'd appreciate both Gary, Matt, and Janice. What are your overall impressions back to just the overall look and feel, workflow? You know your customers a lot better than we do. What are your overall impressions of Register Patient as it relates to what you saw today and how you see that would fit into your business goals and objectives?
Is there any reason why we started with Register Patient instead of ECO?
Well, again, let's. I don't want to confuse acronyms and stuff, Gary. There was one practical aspect of why you saw Register Patient today as one feature of ECO, and that is that Justin and Jasmine were available today. But the people that are responsible for MDON's EMR, which is another component of ECO, simply aren't available. And so if that answers, if it's just something as simplistic to that, it's just more or less timing and availability.
All right.
Because I'm fully aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I'm at least based on our first meeting, your number one desire was to focus on the opportunity, or is there an opportunity to integrate an EMR, fully certified EMR with your PMS? And that was the first conversation that I believe Janice had with LaShante initially. But that certainly expanded, and we had that initial conversation. And with that, it certainly should provide the opportunity to say, okay, here's what ECO is, and here are the components that you have the opportunity to select from. And again, it's completely up to you, quick practice, which of those you find most valuable and desirable, and then we determine at that point where you would wish to proceed. So there's clearly a next step. If I get confirmation from you that we still need to schedule time where you can see a demonstration of our EMR exactly the way you did with Register Patient, and then if there are other aspects of ECO, that's pretty much where I see things are today. But we could continue that discussion, and that's not to say that you may be or may not be interested in other components. Like there's a full billing solution on the back end that really there's not an application, it's not a GUI, but it's leveraging all of the services that, quite frankly, we offer to at the enterprise level to hospitals, where we do far more than just the EDI that you're currently utilizing, but doing additional aspects and really outsourcing a lot of the things that a physician office may be doing themselves today. And we can even talk about that. That's more of just, and back to pricing, that's more of a percentage and that's fairly common, for example, and you may be even doing that today or in the future, where revenue cycle companies, denial management companies will go in and say, hey, for a certain percentage, we will provide the following services. And that's just basically additional revenue that otherwise the practice wouldn't be getting in the first place. So that's another, maybe obviously another conversation for another day. But again, that all is leveraging existing functionality, existing services, existing software that are already integrated within ECO, that channel partners such as yourself have the opportunity to pick and choose what they want.
I know I'm being difficult, and I apologize, in understanding registered patient. I'm looking at the website and then the features. It mostly talks about the referral, the prescription, medical forms, and the online patient registration and the patient appointment. So there was a part that Jasmine demonstrated that asked questions like social history and allergies and so forth. What is that fall under? That to me is an EMR, unless we got the definition wrong. Is that something new?
No. It's so at its highest level, Gary. I'll just kind of walk you through. So we have the portal, which is our gateway, right, to provide secure HIPAA compliance around access, both from the patient and the provider. So you've got the patient portal, and then you have the patient registration process. And the registration could be 1,000,000 questions if that's what you want. It could be everything about your life. Or if you were 85 years old, we could ask every question in the world that you wanted. But what we have done, because we have over 200 different specialties that have asked us to give them a registration form, an intake form, very specific to their practice, is that because this is what we know and do, we've boiled that down into a core block of questions that are very specific to across the industry around meaningful use, around HIPAA, etc. So that core block does get into demographic questions, but these are all standard type questions that every practice that you work with today asks in some shape or form. Now, I say that, but with this, we can put in or take out whatever you want. So when Jasmine was going through those steps, that was the actual patient registration, going through all those blocks of information that a standard practice typically asks.
All right, I got it. I understand. Thank you.
And that's what that was. But the other piece is just real quick to go through is once you finish that, now the patient automatically has created their own personal health record. So if you use let's say you use your desktop and you signed in because you have to authenticate, you would go into your own, Gary's own PHR, your personal health record, and inside of that you would see, my messages, my appointments, my medicine, my insurance. It's all your stuff that you just filled out, but it's in a nice, form.